Hey guys, it's Georgie. I'm bringing you another replay. This one is of Relic main versus Type 5 on Malinovka. And I really like this strat here, and it's a really fundamental concept that I haven't really focused on too much, which is more a support-based strat. So you can see from Relic's comp, they've got a couple of scouts kind of heading out to the north, they're scouting out the field at the same time, and the vast majority of the tanks that they've brought or setting up in support roles. They've got 4 Sturves, they've got 2 Arties, so this is a support-heavy comp. But even the tanks that aren't necessarily support tanks, you've got lots of Russian medium, kind of setting up in a very support role at the start of this game. And the reason for this is Relic is looking to kind of spot out early tanks, get early damage, and punish Type 5 for taking locations. Now, at the start of this game, you're basically just going to see Relic main, scout out a couple of tanks, identify what Type 5 is doing, and recognize that they have some positional advantages to leverage, and then they're just going to go ahead and do that. So you can already see the 430Us are starting to come down the riverside. There's some tanks that are there. Mojave and his Batchat here has spotted out quite a few medium tanks in that kind of D7 location. And so that means they're going to be relatively useless in impacting that waterline push. And then this is a big part of this game where the 430Us, they come down, and not only do they start to proxy those tanks on the corner so the Sturves and the Artie can work them, but they spot those 113s on the K-line as they're crossing. And that is just a giant open field. The 113s are taking a lot of fire from these Sturves, 907s, and the Artie. And they're going to start dropping very quickly. The first one goes down. I believe a second one here comes pretty quickly. But basically, Maine now knows where the vast majority of these tanks are, and even more importantly, knows that they're very split. So you have about half of this team, half of Type 5's team, down in the south in a position where Maine is really locked down. And Maine is going to work on basically keeping irrelevant, right? And just continuing to farm them out. None of those tanks can leave those locations, and with double Artie, they're just subject to a very slow death. You see some really good really good individual play out of Snake up here, by the way. So he's anchoring in his IS-4, which is just holding that position and giving enough established map control so that Maine is never going to lose that part of the map. Type 5 pushes those mediums into the north, and then there are so many support tanks that all they have to do is rotate a little bit, and Type 5 was therefore unable to take that part of the map. Snake Up actually manages to live through that, which is what I was talking about, some really strong play on his part. But basically just the concept of that IS-4, the concept of angering is holding down a part of the map so that you're denying it to the other team. So Snake Up was never there to work that part of the map and do lots of damage. He was there to deny that part of the map to Type 5, and you can see that works out quite well. Type 5, with that half of their team kind of stuck down in the south, needs to do that rotation, tries to do it, and then is denied the ability to complete that rotation, take the part of the map they needed to, because Snake Up is there anchoring that part of the map, which allows the rest of the team to kind of pivot and support that role and deny it to them. They get some more free tanks. And as you can see, this game is wrapping up here very obviously in Relic Main's favor. But basically, this game is just an establishment of scouting, a recognition of overmatches and advantages, and then Relic Main kind of just taking advantage of those given overmatches and advantages in a very successful way. One of the things that I've also talked about is the sign of a well-called game is that the other team was forced to react, and you can see that in that kind of northern rotation of Type 5s. It was a forced rotation. Maine knew it was coming and was therefore able to dictate pace of battle. And that's the end of the game.